The whole idea with Amish community is they're agrarians. You know, they're farmers, but they're carpenters, they're leathersmiths, they're metal workers, but they live a very simplified kind of life. You know, they go to school until the eighth grade. So we're not talking about inventing computers, but we're talking about a fantastic example of how to provide all of the basic needs for a person's, family's, community's, city's life. So the Amish are really, really good at that. Now, just as an insight here, I got a couple of banker friends from my young Kentucky high school days. They wound up going into banking, and they serve the Amish community. And an interesting insight that you'll probably never hear unless you're hearing this video or you know Amish folks is when you look at these folks. Let's say you go to Lancaster, Pennsylvania. This is like ground zero for the Amish community. You might think, based upon the description of how the Amish live, that they are poor folk. Not for a second. My high school Kentucky banker friends, they have told me, said, look, it's very common for the Amish families to have six-figure bank accounts and seven-figure bank accounts, or a dime a dozen. And the reason why they have accumulated so much wealth is because they are essentially spending their life working, but they don't spend it on anything. I mean, the traditional Amish families, they don't have electricity in their house. They do have running water. When the sun goes down, they go to sleep. Okay, they don't have TVs, they don't have radios, they don't have cars. I mean, you've seen the horse and the buggies. I mean, it doesn't mean they won't ride in a car, because they will catch a ride with somebody else, you know, if the circumstances are right. But in terms of their day-to-day living style, they get themselves around with horses, a horse and buggy, bicycles. They're big bicycle riders. They walk within their communities. Like I say, they make their own clothes. You know, they're not buying the latest fashion. They're not going to carry a Louis Vuitton bag. That's not happening. Not happening in the Amish community. And they do their own haircuts, for example. And this is why they all have bowl-looking haircuts. I mean, it's a joke, but it's truth. And they all grow beards, so they're not spending money on razors and shaving cream. So it really is a simplified way of living. But on the other hand, they're hard workers. I mean, when the sun comes up, they're out working the fields. They're in their shops, whether it's a leather shop, wood shop, metal shop. They make things that people in America buy all across the country, like yard furniture, yard decorations. You know, they build houses. I mean, if you want to build a house and you find an Amish crew, or you go to Amish country, you can easily hire an Amish crew to build your house. I guarantee you, there are no builders better than the Amish builders in the country. And I have friends who did this. I know firsthand what I'm talking about. So essentially, they're hard workers. They provide all the basic needs of their family. They go up to the eighth grade in terms of religion. They are in terms of education. They are very religious. The Amish group they're very religious folks. There's no question about that. And but they don't spend their money on all of the paraphernalia and bits and pieces of modern American life. So essentially, they become savers. They're big savers, hard workers. And if we're trying to use this model to export it around the world, then it's fantastic, because let's just take Somalia, for example. You know, Google Somalia, pull up some videos. It's a heartbreak story. But just imagine if everyone in that community was working in a farming lifestyle like the Amish do. How quickly would they be able to eliminate their poverty? How quickly would they be able to save their money? How quickly would they be able to build up their economy? Well, the answer to those questions is it would be very fast. But the problem is, many of these impoverished countries, they don't have the right role models. They don't even have the resources to implement this basic style of living that we're talking about. We're just using the Amish as the iconic example, but it's the style of living that we're really after. And so we have to address those issues. And a UN 2.0 would be the perfect vehicle for doing that, because we could make sure that the UN 2.0 had, you know, all of the resources that we're talking about to help others improve their lives.